Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. I just want to make this quick video to give you 5 tips on how you can succeed in your final project. If you do these 5 tips and you do them well, along with having high quality, you will be fine on this final project. So I'm going to give them to you. Very first thing, and I'm going to say this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Use section titles. In this announcement, I'm going to be giving you a blank sheet or that has all the the section titles that you'll need. All you need to do, if you haven't already, because half of you guys still do not use section titles, put your paper in those section titles. It's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to make your job much easier because now you know what areas in your paper is lacking. If there are areas that you've messed up on or things like that, you'll be able to see that easier because you'll be able to plug and play. 2, it makes it easier for me because, guys, these are a lot to grade, like a lot, and they take a significant amount of time. And I'm not going to be searching all over your paper to find one particular section. If it's not in the right order, in the right place, I'm moving on. So I'm not going to spend 45 minutes searching for one particular section because you didn't do a good enough job outlining and organizing your paper. So if you do and use section titles, use them well and appropriately the way that I've outlined them for you, and make sure everything's included. That way you're not missing and skipping sections, which has happened more than once. You will be fine. So, biggest thing, what is it? Use section titles. Okay, second thing, make sure that in your goals section, especially in milestone 1, and then there's a little bleed over into milestone 2, that you're selecting 2 goals from the rubric that was asked of you in milestone 1. There are a couple of you guys who still are kind of making up your own goals, but there are 4 goals that you got to choose from. You pick 2 out of those 4, and that's kind of the basis of your goals for the project. And so again, be sure to select those 2. Do not use your own goals. 3, details and depth. This is really, really important. Take your time on this project. You guys have worked through milestone 1. Now you're working through milestone 2. If your section has like 3 sentences, it probably doesn't have the depth or detail needed for it to be quality. So I really encourage you, take a look at every section, and if you use section titles, you'll be able to see this clearly. And make sure that you're able to have clarity and depth and details within your project. Remember, this final project, you're not necessarily, you're not writing this to your client, you're writing it to me, who's like your boss, who's then going to give it to your client. So use third person, and you want to make it detailed, because just as I would look at it and say, what do we need to work on? You don't want to give me any benefit of the doubt. So in that regard, again, depth, details, really, really important. Number 4, rubric and my feedback. For whatever reason, I'll get papers. It doesn't even look like it's follow the rubric at all. The rubric is there to help you, right? So make sure that as you're going through and putting everything together, that you've hit every single section of your rubric. And if you're using section titles, that'll be very easy. But remember, use your rubric. Make sure after you've gone through every section that you've seen the rubric, that you make sure that you've answered every question that needs to be answered, as well as the feedback I've given you, okay? Now, I spend a lot of time kind of crafting feedback. If I say elaborate more, that usually just means to add more content, add more detail, etc., etc. So please, use the rubric and my feedback, and don't just like, oh, I got this certain grade, and then you move on. Make sure you use it so you can get the best grade possible. And then finally, the Writing Center. The Writing Center is open 24 hours for online students. I'm also going to attach the information for you in the announcement for this particular video. So what I would recommend doing, it's not open 24 hours, but they'll turn around the paper for you in 24 hours. So I recommend combining it Wednesday, Thursday, submitting it to the online website, or excuse me, the Writing Center, and they will make sure that it looks good, that your APA formatting is correct, that your citations are correct, because some of you guys' citations, just putting a website, just like www. whatever, does not mean that's your citation, right? Or just writing the name of the article. You need to have appropriate APA citations, and the Writing Center will help you do that. So if you do those 5 things, okay? If you do those 5 things, section titles, business goals, details and depth, rubric and my feedback, and the Writing Center, you will do well, okay? Hope you can see you guys soon.